had more to it, like going to Geekandan away away Ouija wagon. I don't know who that is that you're with. You know, going to Geekandan away Gazitchagayog. I don't know what they're doing. You can just keep adding on. Going to Geekandan away. I don't know that. I don't know it. Real.
Okay. Thanks, Grant. The next one is Nagi Kandan. I do know, or I know it. I know it. Nagi Kandan.
You see, ne, I.
And then if you wanted to add to that, would you say Nagi Kandan away? I know that.
Nagi Kandan away kwe kagi kito. I know that lady that's talking.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Nagi Kandan away ikwe kikadu. You said. Kagikadu. Kagikadu. So the next one is Gadawadukuishin. You should help me, and that's in reference to like, because I know learners that are initially first learning, they kind of stumble on pronunciation and reading the double vowels or the how you say the phrase. So they could say, you know, teach them to say, you know, Cheya Gadawadukuishin. Elder, you should help me, you know.
Please help me.
Yeah.
You should help an elder. Chi aya is an elder. We do go on. Chi aya. You can just find different words to put other sentences together.
The next one is I got this one from this one was from a online resource, Graham. This one isn't, I don't know, let me know if it's correct or not, if how we say it in our dialect. Ani neji oji aman. Ani neji oji aman. I don't, yeah, because I just found that on.
How do you write this? That's right.
It is? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I just wanted to add more to our phrases, and I was just searching online for other language
Another
material.
thing, when you say sign here, like they have you sign your name, the word for that is Don B Ige. Gida Don B Ige Oma. Please sign here. You know.
I'm gonna write that down right now.
Gida Don B Ige Oma. And you know, that's I remember I was doing what do you call that when the elder can't speak the language, English, and she had to sign a paper, and that's what I told her. Oma Don B Ige. Here, sign. I said, and then she just put a little. It was a sock lady. Oma o Don B Ige. Or Don B Ige Oma. Sign here. Ojabi Iganak is a pencil. See, you see Ojabi Igan. Ojabi Igan. That's a pen or a pencil. Ojabi Iganak. Another way. Yeah.
Okay. The next one is, I think, with the it would be well, we say miguayok, right? But I think some people wouldn't they pronounce it miguak?
Yeah.
Guak. But either way, it's acceptable.
Miigu. I know what you said. That's the right way to say it.
Miguayok.
Around here, yeah.
Miguayok. Yeah. It is correct. Ikaduk, I'll say it. Diga ikaduk, please, everyone say it. Gikaduk.
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 Away Nenio Gikaduk. That man said it. Away Benujias Gikaduk.
I was reading in that book too, that Ojibwe resource book you gave me. I was like, how do you explain to somebody how, if you heard somebody say something like your mother or your father, and that's what you just said. It said, you could say "Namama kikadu," my mother said, and then you put what they said after. Namama kikadu.
Mama ikado. Take a bath, your mother said.
Yeah.
Or you can use your words just however, just so you know what the word means.
Noon gum.
No. Gum.
Alrighty. So the next one, Anwe Bida. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Anwe Bida.
Yeah.
Let's rest. Anwe Bida.
I used to hear that a lot out racing. Them old people. Get on way bida. We should rest.
Anwe Bida. The next one, Namatabin.
There's different ways you can use Namatabin. Like I get calls from my grandkids or whoever, my kids, and they say, Anishinaabe, what are you doing? I'll say, oh, me, I have to go in the madab. I'm just sitting. Me, I have to go in the madab. Gibeg. That's all day. I'm sitting all day. Or, you can say namadabin, namadab. There's different ways to say. But namadabin. Daga namadabin ama. Sit here, right here.
Azaka.
No. Oh.
It's crawling right up me.
Ezika.
Ezika.
That's a wood tick. Ezika. Ezika.
How would you say that? They're everywhere.
Gujia. Ezika.
Kuji Ezeka?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Kuchi Ezika. Okay. Are we at Bizandaushuk?
Bizan.
Bizan.
You all listen.
You all listen. Bizan. Bizan is the singular one for you listen, right?
Yeah.
And Bizandaushuk is you all listen.
Yeah. It says, or like you say, Bizandan. Bizandaushuk. You listen to me. Listen. Bizandaushuk. That means you all listen to a person, or when you're with, like I have a group of kids in front of me, I'll say, Gita Bizanda, as you get to one, you listen what I'm saying. Bizan, Bizan. So you could see Bizan, be quiet, Bizan, Bizandao Shiog. All listen.
The next one is Kinita Anishinaabe Moanana. Do you speak Anishinaabe? Or, do you speak the language? You could respond with, well, how would you respond, Graham?
You would either say, Eya, yes, Bungi, a little, Bungi, no, Gawin.
Very good, Graham. You know what you get. The next one is Kitab Bijitun Anishinaabe Moan. You should use your language. Well, you said it translates to use your Indian language, or just use your. I just put on the flyer. You should use your language.
Or you could just say, Gita Abijitun. Gita Abijitun Anishinaabe Moan. As you get doing, as you speak. Or you can use Kita Anishinaabe win. Talk the language. Kita. No. And another way you can say Abijatu and use it is Abijia. Kita Abijia Anishinaabe win. Kita Abijatu and Anishinaabe win. When Don Chosa was up here working as a Anishinaabe teacher and stuff at RTC, he had some pens printed out. They said on there, Abijia Anishinaabe Mawin, use your language. Abijatun Anishinaabe Mawin. And there's another word like no, this I can't remember that. That one word came back to me. It's how you say send it. Like say you're sending a package or sending something. You say
Send it. I think I've heard you say it once or twice growing up.
Yeah, I'll think of it.
It'll come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't think of it now. I'm getting that way. Sometimes a word comes to me right away, or I gotta wait for a while for it to. This one I can't think of. And there's a lot of ways you can use your language. Like, and if you see somebody in the morning, you say, "Bujunich, Anineshi Iyayan Nungum, how are you today?" And that person can say, "Oh, Mino Aya, oh, I'm well," or Gawin Mino Ayasi, no, I'm not well. Ani Indash, why? Oh, Gabe de Bikagni, Gibe de Bikad, Ni Akuzi. I've been sick all night. Oh, Auntie, where? At Tigwan. My head. You know, you could just keep on. If you had someone else to speak with, you can just keep making the sentence go longer. Oh, now I remembered it. Ojinjamo. That means send it. Ojinjamo.
Oh yeah, Zinjamo.
Niki Zinjamo away to Juniani goes this. I sent my son some money. Niki Zinjamo away negoses Junia Sheba this morning. So you can oh, Anish Minik and say how much. Oh, Ingodok 100. But there's just so much. It would probably take a long time, at least a year. So there's a lot of words I still didn't use yet. And some are just coming out. And
yeah, isn't that crazy when there's certain things that people keep in their mind, and then sometimes they don't even use, certain parts of the language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I suppose too, like a lot of, when I was first learning, or at least I always paid attention to, when they rendered a invocation or a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the words that I became familiar with were in that spiritual area of language, and I suppose that's true with most of the language, but just, you know what I mean, prayer language, the east, the west,
all
the spirits,
four
money,
directions.
dues, and all of that,
I noticed when people that never used to be like that, when all the old men were doing prayers a long time ago, they said the words loud and clear, so everybody, even the younger kids, could learn. You know, in that's what I try to do. I try to say them loud, so people can understand. You know, how are you going to understand if someone just says "bushu bushu, manitu, niki, sa samam"? You know,
Yeah.
nobody can understand what you're saying.
Right.
How do you expect people to learn a language if you don't say it, loud? I'm gonna have Perry start with a prayer so he can say the words loud and clear, so you can learn.
Oh yeah,
Some-
that'd be good, huh?
Which one?
Four directions.
Okay. All right.
About putting tobacco out first this morning before you start.
All right. Nagichimanidu. Nedasa sama we jeba. Gegu go into motion. The go bizendau shuk. Now wabanum. Gina gu kadanaskana way sama way kumina kuin we do kuishan. The go gonna win a machine gay. The go mission gegu. Magashaka no wabindan gegu. Magashaka bawaji gegu. Gishpin gegu gamishin midashaway gizichige. Maywaza and Gizgizchige water. Maywaza and Gizchige water in Anishinaabe. Migwach wabanum. Migwach Nalguam. Migwach Nail. So that prayer goes in 4 iterations. It's like you repeat. You start with the west, go to the south, then you start with the east, you go to the south, then you go to the west, and then you go to the north, and that's that traditional circle, that way of doing it. Like some people say, well, I just use clockwise just to explain it to people. And how I learned that at a very young age.
Some people use the four winds.
4 winds. Yeah.
They use there's Beijik, Nij, Niswe, Ni Win. 4. Ni Win on Donamuk. That's 4 winds. Ni Win on Donamuk. Winds is on Donamuk. And some use just Wabanum, Jawanum, Nigabi, Num, Diwe, Denum. Usually I use both. Hardly use Niwin on Donamuk, but I use the other 4 directions, and the way we were taught. That's the way that I learned, and it sticks to me, But Perry learned about when he was 12, or to really do prayers and stuff.
I remember seeing Grandpa used to have his plogan. The part that I took out of that prayer was because it was Grandpa's. Remember that invocation you taught me? I took out one phrase because I'm not a pipe carrier. Gawi Mushi, not yet. That'll come later on in my life. But there's a part on there. It says, what is it? Nungum. It's today I lit my pipe. I forgot. Nungum Nigiska on and do Pogan. There we go. It just came to me. I take that part out because I'm not a pipe carrier yet, but that was in his original writings for when I was learning that.
So you could say Nungum Nigi Da Sa Sam Hagujin. That's this morning I put tobacco outside. Gujin.
Yeah. I just can't believe I've taken that part out for so long. I almost forgot it. Nungum Sha Nigiska and Ru Pogan. Today I lit my pipe.
Yeah.
I was like,
Skaan is when you light something up. The pipe, Nidu Pogan. Or Nidu Pogan, my pipe.
But I used to see him when I'd come down and sit for an hour when I was in high school early years, he would sit by that window, and before he'd do his pipe ceremony, his polgun, sagaswa, he'd always have the tobacco in his left hand, and he'd always point it towards the window, and I used to see him point that tobacco with his hand to all 4 directions, and he'd do it like 4 times. He'd do it a certain amount of times, and stuff like that sticks with you. And that's what I just want to tell people, like, if you pray, you put your tobacco out, good things will come to you, whether through dreams, visions. It could be good luck, even. Yeah, good energy. But yeah, I used to. So just when you're exposed to certain elements of the culture like that, they'll stick with you. And I know a lot of people are kind of timid and shy to engage the Anishinaabe culture and the way of life, but it's nothing to be afraid of. Like Grandpa said, Grandpa Lester used to say.
Some people have different views about the language. Like some say they're evil. They're not. But
Nope, it was just being human. That's all it was.
I know that smoking a polgun can tell you a lot of things, and because I remember one time my cousin was dying. Well, they said she was dying. She was in St. Mary's Hospital. And I come in and I said, Lester, I said, can you smoke your pipe for my cousin? I said, and he got all his stuff. He always do his prayers by the kitchen table. He had a white cloth, and I helped him get out all this stuff and put him on a table, and he lit his pipe, and he was just lighting. He just lit it up, and he was just gonna start sukaswa with polgun. Smoked his pipe. Right away he put it away just fast. I said, what's the matter? He said, she's gone already. And nobody called me to tell me she was gone. Here, a little while later, my cousin called me and she said she just passed. So he said the spirits were telling him to put his pipe away. It was too late. And a lot of, I suppose you have to be Anishinaabe to believe that way, but maybe a lot of other people believe that way too, But,
Well, let's on Webada? No.
Yep.
rest.
Yeah, Mikoyo. Misko Benes. That is, yep. On way, Bada. Let's rest.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted to say. What was that? The one that you said the elders used to say out on the lake? Let's take a break. Where is that? How did you?
Kita on way bida kowe.
Oh, okay.
That's kowe is for a jeunesse a little while.
Okay.
Kita on way bida jeunesse.
I'm gonna have to write that down. And use it a little bit more often here. But we're gonna take a quick break here. We're gonna freshen up our Makadei Mashkiki Wabu, and yeah, put some more makeup on here, and we'll be right back.
Well, you remember too, are these mics off?
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, when Norm Adam passed, I remember you got the call, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And it was not too long after my grandma, we were in the living room, and remember that doorknob?
Uh-huh.
It shook, or it moved like somebody was coming in, but
Yeah.
And my grandma said, "Hey, who's that?" We looked out the window and
Nobody?
nobody. That's when you said that was probably him coming around to visit, people before he.
Yeah, that's what your grandma just used to tell us before.
Mm.
Just when they pass, she said their soul goes all over visiting.
And
Do they ever do like a community wide thing, or is that just something that they did at a Maday function? Did they do that feast or recognize all the ancestors and stuff like that? Because how
Yeah.
we always say that they might want or need something, or and you offer up
They
there.
do that.
But we do that nowadays as families, right?
Yeah.
But back before contact.
Yeah, they used to make big pots of food.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying is missing. That's what I think. Because the government just kind of made us all separate now, and we don't come together anymore.
A lot of the teachings were like, I've noticed too, are like one, like what you said, one family will know how to do this.
Yeah.
It's all compartmentalized now. Right?
And it's the same thing, with the language or with just living our family structures, breaking us apart, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's easier for them, for the church and all that, to come in and teach them new ways to think and new ways to do things, So that's my philosophy on it. But
Man, they said that they'd overturned that Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
Holy man, there's a lot of people are outraged with that.
yeah, I know it's going to be something's going to
Really? Yeah, I was like, holy man. It's with their religion, their Christianity. There's like 5 or 6 the ones that control the laws and stuff. They're pushing their religious beliefs on on most of America, and people on Facebook are outraged now, saying that. Well, I seen one meme that said Christian rules should only apply to Christian people, and that's what they overturned that abortion. Well, I know our culture, we don't believe in abortion either. You're not supposed to do that, but yeah, I guess a lot of people are just angry about it, angry at the government now. That's what's going on now. Governor Walz just talked about it. He said, no, we're not, state of Minnesota, we're not overturning that. As long as I'm in office, we'll fight that. Oh no, it's wild. You want some coffee, girl?
Yeah.
I'll get you a little cup. How many sugars?
3.
3. I'll get you a little cup.
10. No. They don't sway like bear.
Jeez. Did you like the list though, the outline?
Yeah, that was good. That was good to make sense. That was good just to make sentences out of them words.
Oh yeah. I'll get you a cup of coffee, girl.
And that's the only way you're gonna learn is when you hear sentences.
Well, and our episodes will be archived and stuff too, so for future generations, if they'll hear how you spoke it and George and me too.
Like if I kita mission makademish kiki wangu please or daga mission makademish kiki wangu
Please give me
please
coffee.
give me coffee. May I have to go this way? Caesar could
Please give me sugar.
Nisha Dudu Shabu 3 sugar 2 milk for 2.
I'll get that for you, Grandma.
You use a language like that, but everybody's so used to using.
Well, then a lot of things too, Grandma, is people are nervous. They don't want to get laughed at when they speak the language. I've noticed too. That's why a lot of people won't speak it.
There's one of them values. Kita papi it is.
Laugh
You
at
should
all
laugh
right,
at
we
yourself.
are back with you here, and got our coffee freshened back up. Yeah, and we're in the hour of our Anishinaabe Mowin with Auntie Karen, and I've been sharing some music here, some flute playing. Normally I don't play that much flute, but I just kind of put it on in the background. I just wanted everybody to know that these songs are songs that were created or by Joe Hoagland. So I don't know if he's got his CD out there, but I know he has done a whole album of these things. I think there's probably about 12 songs that he's got on his CD that we got a hold of, and we were able to add them to our collection here. And yeah, so if you ever get a chance, ask Joel about that. His flute playing. Yeah, I think it's just something that, you know what I mean? Everybody's really modest here in Nett Lake. I mean, they don't fancy themselves, what do you call it? Big time artist or big time musician or anything like that. Everybody just tries to say, oh, that's just something I do, or, they just want to keep it on the down low. And yeah, but I want to encourage everybody that's listening out there, you know what I mean? If you have a talent or something like this, yeah, I mean, that's some good stuff, you know what I mean? And we're going to try to get some more people up here, some of our neighbors, like Orville Counselor from Northwest Bay. And, he lives over in Thunder Bay right now. We had him scheduled to come here and share his music. He's not only just a musician, but he's a dancer. And I see now he's, over the pandemic times, he's been able to, bring in his family. And not only is he talented, but his brother Kyle, he's a flute player also, guitar player. He's played in a few bands. And not only that, but his dad, Louis, and his uncle have also been out there as hoop dancers. Yeah, which we'd like to hear more about, and so we want to invite Orville down, and I'm sure he's got all of that knowledge, and he can share that with our community here. And like I said, I'm going to get back into the language here, Anishinaabe Mowin, and you're listening to KBFT 89.9. And what we usually do here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we invite you to come in and join us. Right now, we are Facebook living also, if that's a word. Living? Is living a word, Perry?
Living?
Yeah, Facebook living. Well, anyway, that's what we're doing.
That's a daring question.
Yeah. And it's kind of the first time that everything's worked out for me technically wise. There's some software involved, hardware, and then everything's got to kind of like talk nice to each other and all that. So if we invite everybody, get on our Facebook Live, give us a comment. I'm trying to find the comment section. So anybody that's got a question out there about the language can definitely ask us. If not, I do have my Res Rock and Radio number available also. If you want to text us any of your questions about anything that we've been talking about or that we are talking about, and I'll try to keep an eye on my phone here just to make sure that your question gets through. Usually we get a lot of them towards the end of the hour, and like I said, we're going to go until noon today. So everything that we can discuss about Anishinaabe Mowin is kind of what we're covering. Lot of cool stuff. Like I said, I learn something new every time I'm on the air with these two, and it's been great having Perry aboard here with his knowledge and of the language, and then also him having a family relationship with his grandmother here, and of course she's my aunt too, and so I'm going to turn it over to these guys, and they're going to lead us into another discussion. We'll probably cover the material that you created, Perry, again at the top of the hour or sometime at the beginning of the next hour, just so our next group of listeners can tune in. I know not everybody's able to you know what I mean, stick with us all the way through it. So go ahead, guys.
Do you remember Harry Bonus?
Oh, I'm
George?
sorry. Yeah, I remember Harry.
Yeah. I worked at Head Start, or his wife Betty was there working too, and he was the cook. And he was like a joker, like a teaser. He'd tease us ladies. And he used to always say, Gago gabchiwin dan. What's Gago?
Don't?
Yeah. Don't. You'll if you were kind of touching the food or something, that means don't, you'll get it dirty or something.
Kapchi Weendan?
Yeah, Gego Gupchi Weendan.
Weendan. Gigu Kapchi Weendan.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Oh, then Darren, I talked to Darren, and he said that he put some kid songs on the
Oh, okay.
on there.
All right.
There's four. He played one on his
Oh, on his show?
and I was thinking of playing at least two.
Okay.
One,
right.
if you can do
That's
that.
right. We're going to do story time too at
Then-
11:45.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
if you could play one now, and then that's why I said even music teaches you. If you hang on to every word that they're singing, you will know. You will get to know what they're saying, because every word they say in this song, it comes out clear.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're hold on a second here. I got to get hold of Darren. He's having car troubles. Everybody's having car troubles right
I
now.
know, Perry, Spugundé, high price.
I know. That's what I think Darren's in for a big bill too. But he even tries to fix things himself, you know. But every once in a while, he doesn't have the right tool or something, or he's got to lift it up higher or something like that. So I'll try to get a hold of him, and then yeah, you guys can go ahead and keep talking while I'm finding out where these songs are.
Good and keep doing what should we
Talk about?
Yeah.
Well, I think we could talk about the importance of cultural immersion schools or camps.
Oh yeah, that's what I Nigi, how do I say forget? Nigi. Oh jeez, help me.
It's okay.
We do co-op.
We do co-op.
You should help me.
Okay.
But years ago we started our first immersion, and back then there was elders, like there was Myra, Ellen Adams, you know, Shar there, Joe Hoagland, Harvey Thompson, Rose Chosa. They had cooks, Joey Chosa. Geez, there was a lot. Terry Goodsky, Dejan, Jean. That they were all speakers back then. And when we had our first immersion camp, we had all these. All now, as it got going, and people start passing away, and like the elders, and start getting less and less language. And they can't. Daleen was in. Come there, Daleen. Well, I can't remember all the kids that. Did you come to the immersion?
Yeah, I was there. I even remember. I think wasn't Gilbert Smith that one too?
Yeah, Gilbert come there, and they just did.
They had him do the ceremony, I think, or he helped with the. I remember. Leon used to go to those. Little Mark. Don, Little Don, Awan. Geji Weodung.
Little Pete.
Gawin. I don't remember. He might have attended one or two, but I don't remember him really being.
Yeah.
He used to be an awesome powwow dancer. He doesn't do it anymore.
Who was that?
My older brother Pete.
Oh, okay.
He used to dance, and I noticed a shift in him when he started going to high school. He kind of shifted away from it, and I was like,
hopefully he'll come back, eh?
yeah.
I see Wendy's coming back.
Oh yeah.
Wendy Drift, she has a nice dress.
Oh yeah, beautiful dress. Yeah.
You know, she's taken the culture again. For a while, she stepped out for a while, but I'm glad she's back.
You know what I'm always amazed about when people come back like that, how much they know. You know, once they're willing to share after
Yeah.
they start getting involved. Yeah.
Like I
that
said,
sounds good.
when you're little, you know, I can remember when the language was being spoken. I remember I was like only 1 year old, and I woke up crying, and I was sitting on my ma's lap. She was trying to stop me from crying. She didn't know what. And then Phyllis came there, and she was trying to find out what was wrong with me. But I was only like 1 year, and I can remember that. And you know, they say, you know, how long do you then when I went into first grade, I remember that far, like when that teacher told me not to talk that way. Don't talk that way here, you talk that way at home. But you know, I suppose it's some parts that, like these little Head Start kids here, and I've been working with them, and maybe since they were little, maybe some stuff will come back to them when they're older.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I know. I think I told you, like growing up, I remember a lot of stuff when I was just a little one. You know, maybe even before I could even talk. I mean, I can kind of remember things like even like Strongville. You know, like I can almost remember just being in a swing, in a baby swing. You know how natives put up the
way bizun.
Way bizun. Yep. And I can remember things like that. I remember the sky, you know, and the clouds, and then listening to all the old men. They're all laughing and joking around, you know, and just how that not necessarily everything that was going on, but just the feeling of everything around, you know, like the temperature in the air, and what's awesome about it is every once in a while those things will come, like I'll walk into somewhere or be somewhere, and then it'll all be like how it was, and then it'll just kind of fill me over with this feeling, you know.
I wonder, like I was reading somewhere, they say that the baby, while it's in his mother's stomach or whatever, that baby can hear what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Out.
Yep.
And that's all they did was talk the language when I was, my mom was carrying me.
Yeah.
So, you know, we don't remember, but, you know, and that was our first language we heard when we were in our mother's carrying us, you know. People talking to her, and her talking to other fluent speakers. So that's kind of how maybe someday we will get our language back some.
Well, I think like our last discussion, you said what'll happen when we do get our language back, you know, and then maybe someday they'll be taking it away again. And I kind of think that's true, you know what I mean? There's different waves of time, you know, kind of like, you know, things that Perry was just talking about, you know, and in different time frames, like, well, that thing you were talking about was about 50 years ago, you know, and halfway through the century, everything gets turned the other way, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think times like that happen, and you know, it's good that we're trying to bring it back anyway, you know?
It's like our grandma, Rose, used to talk to us. She used to say, I remember her, well, I was about 8, 9 years old, and she was telling me about, she said, you know why they take people from the earth, she said, is our earth is getting too full, she'd say, and so they end up taking. And I was thinking about that when I got older. That's the way it is, because, you know, like say they have big plane crashes, big anything where it takes hundreds of people, you know, in all this, and that must be how maybe the world is too overcrowded.
Yeah,
know why
right.
things happen that way.
Well, what was that? I heard something on the radio this morning that there were 20, I believe it was 26, I want to say quintillion life forms on this earth. And I suppose that includes the money-do saints. Is that how you say that? All the little insects and all the little...
Money do sag.
Yep, money-do saints. I think that it was including all that. So if you think about it, all the things that have a I don't know what you want to call it, a life, they can move and all that stuff. I mean, that's just mind-boggling. I think they said it was like 26 with like 29 zeros or something like that. So
That's what Lester used to always say. Everything has a spirit. Everything. He used to always say.
Yep. More so in our culture because we recognize, you know, the lakes and
the rocks.
Yep, the rocks.
The fire.
Yep, the grandfathers.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, there's all of that that's going on, and it's all just full of it. You know, the everywhere. You know, how do you say that again? They're everywhere.
Kinaguguji.
Oh yeah, Kinaguguji. Okay. Yep. Hey, I found those songs.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, so let me see.
And listen closely. Just hang on to every word they say. If George can play a song.
This one's called Bimi Batoon.
Yeah. That means run. Fishing. Fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Sit down. Bring me something they can bite. Bring me something they can bite. Pull, pull. We could be doing pull, pull.
There you go. That's Bimi Batoon by Neashing Kid Songs. That's the name of the artist.
And it's saying run, run. Let's go fishing. Bimi Batoon, Bimi Batoon. Gi weed, way, banabi min. And sit down, namantabin, namantabin. Be do da, ji da kwamawad. Bring me something they can bite. The fish they're talking about. And it just has simple little words in there. And, you know, there's more songs, like I like the house song. And Waka Igan. That's house is Waka Igan, and is my home. And, you know, I think there's 6 songs on this CD. But it's from Neashing. That's Mille Lacs. That's how you say Mille Lacs. Neashing.
Neosh. Jeez, I almost took a drink of your coffee. Jeez. Sorry.
Let me see here. I almost forgot that we're Facebook Live in here too. So if you get a chance, go on to our Facebook and you'll see that we're all on camera here. You can interact with us, I believe. I'm trying to learn how to do all this at the same time. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to figure this out just so we'll be better at it in the coming shows. So, and this is something that we do. Well, let me do this. I think it's time we did a station ID. So here we go. You're listening to KBFT 89.9 FM, broadcasting from Nett Lake, Minnesota, streaming online at www.kbft.org/listen LISTEN-live. So go to that address and you'll be able to pick us up anywhere in the world. Yeah. Well, you got to hit the player button, but and then there's also some information there about how you can load our program, our audio stream, onto your phone. So you can like punch it into your phone as you get in the car and have it load up on your Bluetooth inside your vehicle, and you can take us anywhere at any time, even while you're sitting there. Maybe you're at the doctor's office, waiting to get in, and how do you say that? Mashkiki inini.
Yeah.
Medicine
man.
Yeah, the doctor. And you're waiting. How would you say waiting?
Bobby
Yeah. Bobby namatabin Bobby Mishkiki inini. Yeah, you're sitting down waiting for the doctor. And so you can load up our phone right on load up our programming right on your phone. And not only is it like a live stream, but you can go back to past shows like this show here. It's going to be archived right on our website. So you'll be able to go on there, look at the first hour of Anishinaabe Mowin with Auntie Karen, and you'll be able to load the 10 o'clock hour. And maybe you listen to it and you say, hey, wait a minute, I missed something. You can also load it for the 11 o'clock hour, which you can search and find out all these awesome words that we're learning. And I think what we're going to try to do, Perry, is we'll try to recap some of the material that we have in there, and then we'll, that we've heard, and we'll put it in written form.
Yep.
And we'll just put it up there, and we'll try to make it searchable. Like how did she say waiting for the doctor?
Yep.
And then we can mark it, and then they can just go ahead and find all that information right on our the archives.
Yep.
Yeah.
And where I eventually want to get with it, I want to make sure I break it down, like how they have a system in language classes nowadays in college, high school. You break down like the verb, the ni, the neen, the gin,
Yep.
and then you have the VTA.
Yep,
VTA, verb transitive,
Yep.
and I want to start doing that.
Okay.
Just I know some people are really particularly, they like that, and that's awesome. So I want to get to that level, and I will in the next few weeks. So
Awesome, yeah. Well, it's a work in progress, like I said, and I want to thank not only our listeners but Auntie Karen for being patient with us. I know there's a lot that she has as far as ideas go. And it's taken at least, what has it been, 2 years now? When we first sat down? Yeah. And then COVID just happened that week, and then all of a sudden we had to bust it up, and luckily we were able to come back and start this up again. So these are the kind of things that are in development, and I don't want to spend a lot of time just trying to figure out our format or figure out our what I mean. So and I think this we got 2 hours to play with here, and things like this are very important. Of course, you've been pushing me to get this on the air, and we want to continue, or we will continue doing it as long as we can. And then also just a word out to the community, if there's any other subjects or topics or whatever it might be, especially our tribal programs that are out there, our health services. If you got a program where you have a new service or new staff, maybe you want to bring them up here, and we can just sit down, and it doesn't take more than 5-10 minutes just to run through a quick introduction and talk about what they're going to be doing, how they're going to service, what their hours are, what their availability, and just some of the other benefits that these new programs that have been brought to our community. So that's kind of what KBFT is all about, and I've always dreamed about having community members kind of flowing in and out of here and doing these kind of shows, because Karen and her passion for Anishinaabe Mowin, she's the one that makes this happen. She's the one up here pushing us and saying, hey, I want to do this, or I'd like to do this, could we do that and that? And so that kind of pushes us, especially as creative individuals, you know, to, you know, like this format that we're using right now to stream. That's the kind of knowledge that is also helpful. So if there's anybody that's out there and says, hey, you know what, this would be really good if you guys did TikTok, or if you guys did, you know, more short videos or something like that, that information is all welcome, because everybody learns in a different way, right?
Yep.
Like, I have to write down everything. So what I'd like to do is be able to search this program, find the information that I want to remember, or anything that's new to my Tiguan, yeah, new to my head, and then you know, practice it, write it down, and that way it becomes part of my knowledge and my vocabulary. So that's helpful to me. We don't have a way of doing that here other than just somebody taking notes or whatever, you know what I mean? But that's how I learn. And I know other people do it visually, you know, they just have to see it, and then some people just have to listen to it sometimes, or both, you know. So we want to try to make this available in many learning techniques, or vehicles and stuff like that. And all the stuff that you said with the verb,
Like the makeup
animate,
of the sentence, yeah?
Yeah, verb, animate, transitive, or all that, you know what I mean? Technical English type system, you know what I mean? Where they kind of describe the verb and describe the action and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, good stuff. So, like I said, it's a work in progress, and hopefully someday we have a producer, somebody in this other room over here that's controlling all the camera angles and all the audio, and then we have outlines in front of us, and we'll have to break for a commercial, or not commercial, but break for a sponsor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So those kind of things are ahead, but I certainly do appreciate, you know, all the attention and the focus that you brought to us here. So, miigwech.
You know, I get a lot of feedback on when I post on how I write.
Mm-hmm.
The way I write it, or how I see the word, like boo-ju, I put B-O-O, boo-ju, then I put a little slant, Z-H-O-O, Neej, then I put a little thing there, Neej, N-I-I, then a little slant, J-I-I, boo-ju, Neej.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand, you know, I suppose because how I'm spelling, like numbers, like 20,
Mm-hmm.
like Neej.
Yep.
See, you see 2 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Neej ta, T-A-N-A-A, Neej ta na.
Yep.
And there's some word like animals, like, you know, like probably makwa, ma, M-A, ma, K-W-A, makwa.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like they were getting mixed up between gego and gigu.
Oh yeah.
Gego is G-E-G-O,
Right.
and then fish is G-E-G-O-O, gigu.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's there's a lot of even when I go back, I can't. Sometimes I have to look at my writing, and that's why I would try to get on the camera and speak out the words. You know, speak out the words that are saying, like you got to hear them right from the person's mouth to understand what the words are like.
Yep.
Like na ski bi nas,
Mm-hmm.
na ski bi nas. And then when you get good at it, you can just go right through. You know, you don't have to say them in na ski bi nas, na ski bi nas. You know.
Yep.
You can.
So you use the little slant, the little comma thing to indicate where the break is, right?
Yeah.
Between the separate, well, I would call them syllables. So na would be like a little break,
Yeah.
and then
Ski.
and then a little break, but Break,
Nas.
Nace. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like ski, S-H-K-I,
Mhm.
ski,
Yep.
ski.
So that even that itself is very unique, you know, to you. So that's what I want to explain to a lot of the listeners and a lot of the learners. There's probably everybody's got, well, there's one more too, you know, which is up in Canada. They have the what's that called, syllabics, you know, where they use like little triangles and little dots and things like that. And so that's one more, and I don't know anything about that, but I'm sure, you know what I mean? Somebody young could really learn.
Oh yeah, I seen that was going around. People were sharing
that information. Those
and I it looks like a alien language to me. You know what I mean?
yeah. I thought that was really cool. I can't believe you saw that
Maybe
too.
that's what it is. Maybe that's what we are. You know, maybe we're the aliens here on Earth. You know.
When we were going to school to get our license, that's what they were talking about. Syllabics. And that's what I told Claire. I nudged her. I said, Weguneshi is syllabics. I said, Weguneshi is, what is that?
Yeah.
Weguneshi. So you'd say, We, W-A-A, Gu, G-U, Nash. N-A-S-H. E-E, Wegunesh E-E, or I-H-E-E.
Yeah. Yeah, and then in double vowel, that would be W-E, would be the way. And then, like you do it phonetically, is W-A-Y. Yeah, so those are some of the differences. And like I said, Karen just kind of shared about how she uses the syllable breaks. So she tries to break it down into single pronunciations, and so she gets very descriptive in it, and she'll put the shay, S-H-A-Y, that'll be there, and then it'll have like a little height, like a comma looking thing, just to indicate where the break is. You know, like you say Zakaigan, yeah, like that. I mean, we say Zakaigan, or what's the other way to say it? Zaga Iganing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would, you know, and those are what differences in, is that dialect?
Yeah, probably in dialect and then just some other.
Yeah, like, what, Namatbin and, how do they say it down south again?
Namatabi? No.
Raven used to say that. Nanamataba.
Nanamata.
No, they say that in Red Lake.
Yeah, they say it differently. And that one would be probably dialect too.
That's
you know.
Yeah.
It's so simple too. It's like, I gotta look it up. I have to look that up. But yeah, I'm just trying to explain a little bit about the styles of learning methods, I guess. Yeah, and that's what it would be. So in learning, I can kind of understand a little bit about how a learner would kind of get frustrated by that. But I think that might be kind of the built-in thing about, remember I said there's all the learning styles? You got to mix those in there too. So I'm thinking that when people are learning something, they're either focused on the book material, the written material, or they're really audio centric, where they have to hear it, you know. Or in other words, I think all of our learning styles are different to each individual. So it is challenging, you know. But like you said, just keep at it, keep learning, you know. And I think just for the sake of all of us, I think people have to be respectful, you know, in that way, even though we're kind of programmed to, you know what I mean, have a little chuckle. I mean, we can have a little laugh at each other when we mispronounce something, because we might be saying something else, you know. I seen this meme one time where this guy was trying to learn a language, and he's you know, he tried to say something and he thought he was just saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna change your diaper or something like that, and the joke was he summoned a demon, you know. I mean, obviously that's not part of our culture, but You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of humorous in a way. You know what I mean? But
like namad bin. You know how I say it on when I write it out. Na, N-A. In the na, ma, M-A. Na ma, da, D-A, bin, B-I-N. That's how I say namad bin.
mm-hmm.
And then like sit down, that's sit down. Namad bin. We sinin, sit down and eat. W-I-I, we. Or I could say W-E-E, we. Si, S-I-N-I-N. You know, we sinin. Namad bin, we sinin. And but on there's another little word with just na. That means like if your little kid is throwing a little fit crying, you'll say na, na. That means they're telling your little kid to listen.
Oh, I've got it here. Watch. Nubba Dubby.
Yeah, that's what.
Nubba Dubby. Yeah.
Because what's her name? Raven come to my Indian class when I had it at the RTC, and that's what she was saying. Nubba Dubby.
Yep.
And I said, well, that's how you must say it, and where you learned. She said Red Lake. She said, I said, well, up here in Boys Fort, I said, we say namad bin.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because it's almost spelled the same, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Nubba Dubby versus Namat bin. And I think what changes that is probably the N at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So Namad bin, that's how I don't know if that's a word up there, but
Yeah, they have different ways
mm-hmm.
at the reservations, you know.
Yep.
Well,
another one is Little Don in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
That
one.
his teacher taught him how to say what was that word?
Frog.
Frog.
Yep.
We say omakaki here. O-ma-ka-ki. K-I-I at the end. Omakaki. And he come for the summer, stayed with us, and he was saying, oh my kaki.
Oh my cocky. Oh.
Yeah, that's the way they said it in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And then he told his teacher that.
Mm-hmm.
We said it's omakaki.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher told him, well, that's how we say it here on this reservation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but he still kept our omakaki.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I would probably say, well, like what about even like Menominee? You know, they say the words too. Like you could understand somebody that is a Menominee person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean.
Same way. Remember James Pontiac? He was a cop here.
Oh, okay.
And his mother and dad come to visit up here, and
Uh-huh.
they had the same words we had up here.
Mhm.
They were Cree.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. With the Cree language, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were all what do they call it, Algonquin, or you know, a lot of the natives that were up along the eastern seaboard, like over there by Boston and those places, you know, and I know even like that creation story was one of the things that it always stuck in my mind about, you know, like when man was created, and then they talked about like all the spirits just were in amazement of what the creator had, you know, created.
Mm-hmm.
And but there was one spirit that was told that he couldn't look at him because his vision was so powerful that he would destroy him if he, you know, had his eyes open and looked at him. Yeah, so he was always cautioned about that, and I always wondered what that was.
That's crazy that you bring that up, because I remember that story. Gene told that story.
Oh, okay.
When we were young.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you about that, Shad.
You know what I learned about eyes, about spirits.
Oh my goodness.
The spirits that passed on. I mean, the people that passed on now are spirits.
Yeah.
And they said the spirits will never look you in the eyes. And usually when I have dreams of, I've had a lot of dreams of Lester,
Mm-hmm.
and he never once looked at me.
Mm.
I could hear him, he was there, I knew he was there. He was talking, I could hear him talking, but he'd never show his face or his eyes.
Mm.
And that's the same thing, you know, I don't know, they said it has something to do with the eyes. The
Yeah.
spirit.
I'm sure there's more
Easy.
teachings that go along with that, you know.
Oh, then I was going to say, the word for Cree is mushkigo.
Mushkigo.
Yeah. Long time ago, there was an old man up here. His name was Fred Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
He lived on a hill where Brian Whiteman lives now. He had a little green shack. And he was a Cree Indian. He married a boy sport woman, and that's what they called him. They called him mushkigo.
Mm.
Mushkigo.
That means a Cree.
Mm-hmm. You know, it sounds like, to me, it sounds like a powerful fish. That's what it sounds like to me.
Mushkigo.
Oh, yep. Yeah. You hear that? Yep.
Gigo on the end.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many different stories. You know, some have different ways of telling stories. You know,
Yeah.
some heard it from their grandparents, and
I think that one I was just talking about that being that was, his vision was too powerful to look at how beautiful man was. They did like scientific studies of sharks,
Yep.
and that's what they were saying about the shark, is that it has a unique ability, even from underwater,
Wow.
to observe the stars. That's how powerful his vision is that he can see the stars from underwater, you know, and see them as they are. So that was one of the beings you know, and for that to be told, you know, thousands of years, and for science to kind of figure that out, I think that's just, you know what I mean? I mean, it's not coincidence. You know what I mean? Our people knew this stuff a long time ago.
yeah, what you're talking about is, I heard something about that years from. This is from what's his name? Mizanobi tongue.
Mm-hmm.
He used to tell us that his mother went into a G-scan.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it's covered good, the
Yep.
G-scan.
Mm-hmm.
And she told him that while she was inside that shaken tent, she looked up and she saw all blue sky and stars,
Mm-hmm.
yet it was covered.
Mm.
And that's how powerful that shaken tent is.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
She said she clear blue, and it was at night.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do that at night. It can't be during the day.
No.
Do on G-scan.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember that first one. I didn't get to attend it because I'm not Meday, and I'm not of that.
You can attend them even if you're not Maday. You
But-
just can't go in there.
Or go too close to it. Yep,
Mhm.
because I remember you told me, you said, look, I was a little boy. You said, it was me, Little Don, and Parker. You said, just stay by the side of the house. He said, don't go too close. You can observe it, the ceremony, but don't disturb it. Don't disturb the process for it. And I was just amazed when we were, and then there were some people, some of our cousins, remember when they were warned not to go attend that's bad medicine, that's not good what they're doing down there.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head I was just like, you know, if we were to say disrespectful things like that to their ways or their belief, we would get just insulted for doing that. But then when
we'd have to pay something.
yeah, and that's why I said like there has to be a catharsis for the way traditional people and non-traditional people coexist, because you know, it can't just be, oh well you respect our way but we won't respect your way, you know.
Well, I think that's just in their modern interpretation. You know what I mean? I think their original beliefs, you know, are good. You know, I mean, not directed towards oppression and all that stuff that we've lived through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that was brought on by all the greed. You know what I mean? For whatever it is that, well, we had great systems here. We had a great, let's call it civilization as it is. I mean, it was highly integrated into our environment. It's kind of like we were part of it. We didn't try to be the masters of it. We didn't try to be, you know what I mean, to exploit every little possible thing for our own personal
Gain.
Yeah. You know, I mean, when they first came, they logged out all the trees, you know, because they didn't have trees over there, trees that were of the quality here. And so when they start cutting, they cut and they shipped everything back over to England, and that's kind of what built their or maintained their empire, you know, back in first contact days. So, you know, as far as the original belief though, when these men came, they were, our elders respected them. You know, when they sat down and they talked about a creator, they understood it was the same creator, you know, but the whole thing was what they did with that. You know what I mean? When they came here, they used that as their justification, you know, and even the main church with the doctrine of discovery, you know, that came from the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope and that whole system, you know, basically said, you know, whatever you guys find over there is, you can say you discovered it and therefore you own it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just because they were the chosen people. And even though we had all that knowledge and shared it with them, you know, I think that's why a lot of our people, or some people today, have heard that, oh yeah, you don't want to share that. You don't want to share that story. Don't share that knowledge, you know, because somebody out there is going to take it and they're going to use it. And I've seen that happen. I mean, just things like Stephen King, you know, where I was telling you guys about that movie, the Green Mile, you know, where that, I can't remember his name, the big
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan, and his character doctored that prison owner's wife. She was sick with cancer, and he went over there and he sucked that right out of that lady. All that stuff, he was there, and it went through his mouth, right?
Yep.
And into his body, and then he had to take care of it and regurgitate it, you know what I mean, later on. But that was his healing power, you know, and actually how he brought that little mouse back to life in that movie. He did the same thing with it. He took that back, whatever it was that was, you know, eating away at that woman and that caused that life to be extinguished. He was the one who restored that and healed them. But I think where that came from was from our stories, from how we lived our lives.
Nandaway way. It's
Mhm.
called healing. Nandaway way.
On the way away.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, that's the same thing. They used to use deer bones, you know,
Mhm.
for Nandaway. They did that to Lester. And
Oh,
it was white water. They had a white bowl with clear water,
Mm-hmm.
and he did like suck that out on his left lung.
Mm-hmm.
And when he washed out that deer bone, he then kept on working on him. And when he got done, there was a lot of little black soot like floating around in that
Oh, yeah.
one. That's what he got out. But then they go into outside into the woods, or they go into the woods and they get sick.
Mm-hmm.
They let go all that stuff they
Yep.
were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, but this guy didn't get, he got so sick right away that he went throwing up into the bathroom. But you know, they healed him, and you know, he lived for like 7-8 years after.
Mm-hmm.
But not the way he went.
Not the way you went.
It's healing.
Okay.
See,
Yeah,
not the
so-
way.
So when all this stuff comes up and they say, you know, Gawin, you know, don't don't share that, they're right, you know, especially back from the 1800s. I mean, I know they took what we had and they burned it, you know, either that or they shipped it back over to Europe, and it's still there. They all said, well, there's no written record. Well, they took it all. They took all them scrolls. They probably, there was birchbark scrolls. They probably buried them. Our people probably buried them somewhere for safekeeping, you know, and they could be rediscovered someday. Who knows? But a lot of people try to say that we weren't civilized. We didn't have a system of governing. We didn't have a system of medicine. We didn't have a system of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our people had all of that, and we had all that. We had our policemen, you know, our clans. Our clan system is the one that basically, you know, kind of directed us, you know, about our role, you know, and I don't think anybody ever like questioned what it is that they're supposed to do here in life, because, you know, we had that all built in. So when you went out and sought your, what would that be called, where you do your vision, your quest?
Yeah, vision quest.
So those kind of things, you know, where you would get those answers from your environment here and the spirits that surround here, you know, and that's why we maintain that relationship with our lake spirit here and our, you know, our rice that gives us, you know what I mean, our goodness, you know, Manomin, you know, of course that's the good berry, and that is all integrated into our, we just were, you know what I mean? I mean, the spiritual aspect of that food and how it fed us and how it provides for us, not only just physically, but spiritually, you know, so.
And that's what I was telling somebody. I had a dream about the Sagiigan, the lake. Gibuwajike. That means you dream, Gibuwajike. I was in a boat with a spirit. When you dream of somebody you don't know, you have never seen before, that's a spirit. And we were out on the lake. We're sitting in the back and he was in the front. He was he was paddling. And it seemed like there was nothing out there, but I looked down in the front where I was knocking the rice, supposed to be knocking. There was a pan, a bacon. I have two 9-inch bacon pans I have at my house, and they were sitting in the middle of the canoe. And I opened that, I pulled the top one off. There was just like maybe four servings of wild rice in the bottom of that pan. So I covered it back up again. And they said, well, you gave Mahjong. I said, let's go. And we paddled back to shore. And I woke up and I was thinking about my dream. I was sitting there. Usually when I have a spiritual dream, I get up and sit on my couch in my bedroom. And I was thinking, maybe we're going to have a little bit rice to eat, but maybe we're not going to have any, you know, because that's how they say we communicate with the spirits through dreams. Especially when you put out tobacco, the spirits will recognize that you're trying to help and do things, you know, the Indian way, the culture way. And they'll come to you. They'll come to you in a dream. That's what I was dreaming about, the Sagiigan, Manomin. And so that's what I was thinking. I bet, well, maybe we'll have a little bit to eat. I don't know. Maybe. Magaja. That means maybe. Magaja.
Yeah, I was, well, you know, just for our listeners, you're listening to KBFT, and I'm sitting here. We have a program here called Anishinaabe Moen with Auntie Karen, and you know, we kind of go off and share some of our knowledge as far as you know, like my background is I got a Indian studies degree eventually, long story from the University of Minnesota Duluth at UMD. So me and one of my professors, old John Redhorse, we always tease each other, or he teases me more. You know, about what's that? Almost 24 years from when you started. You got your degree. You know, I think I started when I was like 18, 19, and then I don't think I graduated until I was almost like 40, 38 or something like that. I finally got my degree. But yeah, it's in Indian studies, and I was really thankful for that. You know, and most people take it as a secondary degree or a minor. You know. But all the work that I put into it, I was really happy that I was able to go back there and, you know, complete my studies and graduate from there. But that's my background, you know, so I have a lot of book knowledge in that, and my Anishinaabe Moen too is limited, you know, just because of the classes that I took there. Nothing against my instructors or anything like that, but it was just something that wasn't consistent all the way through my childhood. Like when I came here, first came here in like 1976 when we moved back. Our family moved back to the village. I think we had what's his name, Gilbert Caribou. That was it, Gilbert?
Walter.
No, Gilbert, his son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. His son was an instructor here, Anishinaabe Moen instructor, and I remember taking classes from him, and then Dejan came in and took over. Maybe it was Dejan first, and then Gilbert. No, not Gilbert. What was the other one's name?
Walter.
Walter.
Junior.
Okay, maybe, yeah. Walt Jr. I'm trying to remember. No, it was Gilbert. Mousie's dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was him that came up. And let's see, then Dejan taught for quite a while. I remember that. I think that was all the way up until about 6th grade, and then after that, Gene took over just as we were going into high school. But all of that knowledge that I attained was just kind of like repeating itself over and over. So we'd always go over the animals. We'd always go over, you know, neen, lean, and lean, you know, over and over and over. And so we didn't really expand the vocabulary. I mean, on KBFT here, we probably have at least 1,200 words and maybe 200-300 phrases that we have recorded. And Karen provided a lot of that. Gene, I don't know, Gene didn't, I don't think so. But Mizanopitung, he came up and helped. And, oh, we got Anton Troyer to come and do some of that too. So, you know, it's been growing and growing, and so that's what kind of the thing that we want to help people find ways to learn the language. And I'm so thankful that you're able to come up here and you know, guide us through this. And I just want to let the people know that, you know, we're doing our best in you know, bringing you these things, but we're also bringing you a lot of the culture behind it. So we hope you appreciate that. Make a comment on our Facebook Live or whatever it is. Communicate with us. Let us know that you're listening and that you heard these stories, and you know, you can pass them on also. And for the kids out there, the Boys and Girls Club, not only here in Net Lake, but also over in Vermilion with Orion. He's going to be gathering the kids around here in about 4 minutes. And Auntie Karen's going to share a little story with you, so stand by for that. And I'm just going to go into here and play another one of the kid songs, okay? How about Buju Animush?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Neashing kid songs. And Karen's going to let you know what they're saying in the song.
Hello, said the dog. I'll see you, said the cat. Hello, said the cat. I'll see you, said the bird. Hello, hello. I'll see you. Hello, I'll see you. Buju kawapamin. Hello, said the bird. I'll see you. Said the fly. Fuji. Hello, said the spider. I'll see you. I'll see you again. Minawa. Again.
Oh, what? Like I said, that was Nayashing kid songs. And you said Nayashing was Mille Lacs?
Yeah.
Yep, Mille Lacs. So that was from Mille Lacs, and that was kid songs. And let me see, we're working on the same kind of a project. You and Keith, we're going to be putting together a few short songs, and then also another language collection. So all of our listeners, be prepared for that. That's going to be a KBFT production, and we're of course excited to get that started. We kind of did the preliminary research on how we're going to do it, so stand by for that. And also, if there's anybody else out there that wants to do some kind of historical type recording, maybe you got some stories from long ago, we'd certainly love to reach out. And Perry needs sources for some of these projects that we're doing through Legacy.
Yep.
Amendment.
There's-
Oops, hold on. Go ahead.
Yep, there's I'm glad you brought that up. There's two legacy projects that I'm doing for this next year that contain historical, and then there's another one that's called Go Into Motion Gegu. I'll Tell You Something podcast. So if you want your story told as to why, how did your cultural roots help you in your career aspirations? So, and we have a lot of band members here at Boys Fort who are successful, like degrees, not even just degrees, training.
Advanced degrees.
Yep, advanced degrees. And so that's what this podcast, this legacy project will do. I wanna gather insight and study on what made our band members just reach for success like that, and it's a story that has to be told, and there's I think it could garner a lot of interest. So I'm talking too long. Go Graham.
Yeah, we're going to go into our, if you got the kids gathered around there at the Boys and Girls Club, we'd appreciate that. And we're going to clear the airwaves here and let Auntie Karen take it over, and she's going to share a story with us here.
Uju binujiag nukamis indigene cause sabikones agigan and doing jaba adik ne do dam me gwech kipis in the oyeg. I said thank you for listening. We're gonna do 2 little teachings before we start. Nemajtamen, we're starting. Nemajtamen. If you can remember, some of these words are gonna stick to you, but a lot aren't. But like I said, the numbers are very important to you. So are the animals and the colors. Okay, we're gonna start with animals first. Digi wabidan makwa jeba. I seen a bear this morning. Nigi wabidan makwa. It was behind my house. Niwakay igan, my house. The geese I cooked. Gikunab se gukush. I cooked bacon. And he must have been Jamandan away. When he smelled my food. And they say the bears can break through your door, and that's what I was scared of. Nigis Zegis, I was scared. But I have like a deck in the back to where my kitchen is. But he come close to my squandam, to my door. And I could see him, like his nose, kind of like he was kind of like sniffing. And I pounded on the window on the Wasechigun, but he wouldn't. He must have really liked the smell of my Ekanapse gugush. He liked the smell of my bacon. If you can say Ekanapse gugush, you say it, okay? Ekanapse gugush. And anyway, I was getting ready to call somebody to say there's a bear on my porch. I'm afraid he's gonna break my door down and come and he'll want my Ekanapse gugush. So when I pounded on my window just kind of hard, like 3 times. And he looked, Ekanabin, he looked right at me. So then I beeba again. I hollered through the window. I said, Ma John, Guji Ima. I said, go away. Ma John, Guji Ima. And he looked at me and he backed up and he looked like he was ready to crawl on my porch. And you know what they used to tell me when I was a little girl? Bears can understand Indian. When you talk Indian to them, they'll know what you're saying. And but he walked away back into the woods, and I said, I'm not gonna cook Ekanapse gugush anymore, because they can smell miles and miles away. Then makwa is a bear. And anyway, they used to. We'd be riding on a road in the car, and we'd see a makwa standing there, and I rolled my window down, and I'd say, "Bonjour makwa, bonjour makwa." Hello bear, I'd say. Gibakadena. Are you hungry? Gibakadena. And he'd look. One time this one stood up. It was a gashi makwa, a small bear. It's like he understood what I was saying. I said, are you hungry? Gibakadena. And then but we went a little ways further, and I got out and I put my sama down. That's what we see. Because that's my husband's brother. That's his clan, Makwa. That ain't my clan, mine is Caribou. But I put tobacco down for the Makwa. But that don't mean you can go up to one and just start talking to it, or you gotta beware of a Makwa. They might be mean, or they might have babies, and they'll attack you if you go too close to them. Anyway, you gotta remember makwa. Nagiwabindan makwa jeba. I seen a bear this morning. The end on my house, my home. And that's a little story I have. I have another story that I was gonna tell you. What we're gonna do a couple of teachings. I want everybody to say. To count with me, even the big people there. Basic, Nish, Niswe, Niwin, Nanan, Ningwadaswe, Nijwaswe, Nishwaswe, Jangaswe, Midaswe, Midaswe Ashibejik, Midaswe Ashanij, Midaswe Ashaniswe, Midaswe Ashaniwin, Midaswe Ashananan, Midaswe Ashningudaswe, Midaswe Ashanijwaswe, Midaswe Ashanishwaswe, Midaswe Ashajangaswe. Then you go to 2, Nij, 20, See, you see Nij in there. Nij Tana. Nij Tana. Then you start all over. Nij Tana Ashibejik. Nij Tana Ashinij. Well, you gotta count. And after you learn your counting, you're gonna know how to say it. Nagi wabama nij makwa. I seen 2 bears. Nagi wabana, nagi wabama, bejik makwa. I seen 1 bear. Nagi wabana, nagi wabandan, nanan makwa. I seen 5 bears. And it's really important to learn your language. And another thing I was gonna talk to the kids about is your introduction. That's the main thing you should know, because Buju, Avery, Indigenous cause, Buju, whoever's there, I don't know who's all there today. Momo, Indigenous cause. Sabikunez Agigan and Dun Jaba. I think Mizanobi taught you too how to in Nokomis. But there's a lot of stuff that you should learn when you're little. And this is how. Remember how we did the drum in my class? I let everybody use the drum, and we did a counting thing, and we did Dewe Igan is a drum. Dewe Igan, and the drumstick is Dewe Iginak. Remember we did Basic, Nij, Niswe, Niwin, Nanan, 4. And then we did the 4 directions.
Wabanum,
Wabanum,
Shaw,
Shawanum, Nigabinum, Iwedinum. And everything is like a 4 to the Anishinaabe. There's the 4 races. There's the 4 plants of life. Everything comes in a 4, to the Anishinaabe. What else can you name that's 4?
There's 4 seasons.
The animals?
Yep. Animals.
No?
Directions?
4 directions,
4 walks of life.
Yeah.
Child, elder, or adult child, teenager, adult, elder.
Mm-hmm.
There's, well, it was
I don't know if they're still doing this teaching now, but yeah, there's four predominant races, right?
Yeah.
There's 4
Plants.
4 plants. So
4 seasons.
4 seasons. It's
Summer, fall, winter, spring.
a lot. There's a lot. We only just named a few. There's a lot more.
And then we used to pound on our drum. I can remember we used to sing on our drum. Basic, 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 knees, 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 niswik, 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 knee win, knee win, knee win, nana, nana, nana. There was another song, another word to it. I'll think of it, then maybe next week I'll sing that song to use. But right now I can't remember it. I didn't bring it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to do is tell a story in Anishinaabe, if you can understand the numbers in the animals.
Well, it'll be like homework, so go right ahead.
This is going to be like, how many heard the 3 little pigs? And there's a number in there, and there's an animal. Basic needs this way. Kuku shansug. 3 little pigs. That's how you say 3 little pigs. Basic needs this way. Kuku shansug. 3 little pigs. Minawa. a chi maji maingan, the big bad wolf. Chi maji maingan, 3 little pigs and the big bad wolf. That's what it comes out to in Anishinaabe. Bejigijik, one day. Gimama, Omama, Gukush, mother pig. Omama, Gukush, Gikido, told her, she said, Majan, Kuji Ima, go away. She was chasing them out so they could live on their own and have their own house. So they all left their mama pig, Mama Gukush. And they went, and they the first one, Ogi Kido, away Nini. He said to that man, Kidami Negu away, please give me some hay. Dagami Negu. So, Nini Ogi Minig, Misko, and he gave him that hay. So he went and Ogishitu and Wakai Igan. He made a house. Ogishitu and Wakai Igan. Minawa, away Gukush Nish, pig number 2. Gukush Nish, Ogi, okay.
No, go ahead. You can finish this.
Okay. Ogi Minik, away Mitigun, sticks, Mitigun from a tree. So he went and he Gishitun Wakai Gun. He built himself a house of sticks. Wakai Gun. Then Niswe Gukushas. He gave Minigu away Nini. That man gave him bricks. There's a word for bricks, but I can. Anyway, Uchi Maji Maingan, big bad wolf. Ogi Nibakade Kido, I'm hungry. Ogi Mijin away, Guku Shasag. He wanted to eat them little pigs. But I'm gonna make the story shorter. And Ogi Bindige away ka abiyok away Guku Shasag where they live. Migo Digi Dasa away Nibi Bishate and Nibi hot water. Away Chimaji Maingan, Chimaji Maingan. Ogi just sit down away a kick. Gi jog is on. He fell in and burnt. Me go away, me ill. I can say this better, but I don't know, I was kind of stuck because I didn't know how to say brick.
No.
But I have it written at my house because I said that to the kids. Me ill, me question, give us a dawig.
Yo, me what you busy dawig.
All right. So that's going to conclude our show. We thank you for listening, and we'll gather our resources again, and we'll come back on Thursday. So look for us on 10 a.m. on your Thursday morning. Neo Gisha good?
A2.
Oh, okay.
Nijo.
Oh, Nijo. Okay. All right. So yeah, on Thursday we'll be back at 10 o'clock, and then we'll get you going with Auntie Karen and Perry and myself. So thank you for tuning in. Now back to our regular programming, and I do believe it's will join Native America Calling or National Native News. I'm sorry, with Antonia Gonzalez.
There should be enough.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You hungry, man? Should we get you some food?
Bungie have to go. Little
I
bit.
like those because they were talking about language revitalization. They talk about other things with treaties on that National Native News.
Yeah, they got
Current
all
events.
kinds of
Info.
all kinds of programming on that thing.